Hey, what's going on everyone? This is JoeYoursTruly, back with another tier list video, and this time we're actually going to be doing it live right now. So currently at the time of doing this tier list video, I'm actually live with my viewers. The kind of reason why I did that is because I want to try something a little bit different, where I'm doing my normal tier list kind of like critique, but also doing with just a live audience, so that way if I see someone bring up an interesting point or this huge disagreement, we can kind of talk about it, like kind of like have some live dialogue going between me and my audience, so we can kind of come up with more meaningful discussion besides me just trying to ramble for like an hour. Because as much as I like to kind of explain everything, I think trying to ramble on for a tier list video for an hour is a bit too long. So I'm hoping I can kind of cut it down a little bit. And then if I miss an important point, if someone in my chat will just mention it, right? We're going to just be doing that. So again, my tier list is just the normal S to D, and then the F tier is just the rest in peace. So like, so this is gonna be a tier list where it's not gonna be like exclusively a rank tier list, because as much as people like to see just a like who are the very best heroes in this game, like who's the best hero to climb rank. Well, like making a rank only tier list, like in my head, like making a rank tier list for like the top competitive players at like the top of the meta is really not like applicable to most people. So when I make these tier list videos, I always try to cater for both the competitive rank people, a little bit tournament stuff, and then for the casual people as well, because casual people also want to know what's also really strong in this meta, right? So I try my best to find a middle ground of everything, but just know that I'm not exactly gonna like hit it on the nail 100% depending on your perspective. So just keep that in mind when I'm making this tier list video. But without further ado, let's kind of jump straight into this. So funny enough, before I did this, I'm doing this like tier list, I kind of make a mini poll for my viewers right now. And I asked the question, is Wukong A tier? And I have an 88% that says yes, right? Now that's not definite, conclusive, but that kind of gives me an idea of kind of like your guys' thoughts on like Wukong. Well, what if I told you that I actually think that Wukong is an S pick, and let me explain that, because I think at the very least, like the thing that makes Wukong tricky to evaluate is given the fact that how hard this character is. Like he is the hardest character ever in Predecessor history. Like we always talk about like the Wraith or like even like the Kalari. But the thing with those two heroes in particular, like Wraith especially, he's hard because it's hard to land his combos. But that's all you need to do. You land your combos as part of how you DPS, right? Wukong's whole gameplay is like, it's not just about landing your combos to do DPS, it's also find the most optimal rotation. It's about knowing when to save your abilities or how to string together combos to like win team fights, or when to use it to evade or get really slippery, right? So like Wukong's like whole playstyle is like really tricky, and I've been hearing a lot of like mixed stuff on him, which makes sense because this hero is very hard to evaluate depending on who is playing that hero. Because like for example, to illustrate this a little bit, like right now, like across all game modes, Wukong has a 95% pick rate and a 48% win rate. So it's like, okay, Joey, like you say Wukong's S tier, why does he only have the 48% win rate? I'm putting him S tier because it's crazy that it's been like 4 or 5 days since Wukong's release, and he's like the hardest character ever in Predecessor history, and he has a 95% pick rate, and he somehow still has a decent 48% win rate. Like that's actually really insane, because if you go like look through this list, you see like heroes like the Scarlet 48, 49, 51, 47. Like Wukong doesn't really stand out in a bad way with his win rates. Like the thing that makes it stand out right now is he literally is just being picked every single game for the most part. Like if he's not banned and ranked, he's getting picked. And given the fact that Wukong is just a really complex character, like he's someone that like I think if you want to actually reliably kill people and just do a lot of impact in team fights, you have to know your combos well, right? And that's kind of tricky, and that's kind of the thing that I think most people don't really get with him, right? And I would definitely lower his win rate, but the fact that he still has a 48% win rate despite all that is just insane. Because here's another reason why Wukong can be an insane character even for like a average Joe player. you see how his CS per minute is 7.06. That's actually a large CS per minute, because you look at all the other CS with all these heroes, all like in the 6 range or like the 5 range. It's like 5 to 6 and maybe some in 7. Like Wukong has like some of the highest CS per minute, right? And the thing is like that. What that tells you, what that's indicative is, this is the people are playing Wukong a lot to split push, and that's the one thing that people were afraid of Wukong from like old Paragon, is like he's gonna be a hero that's gonna be like split pushing non-stop, just taking towers any game through that way. And that's happening again in Predecessor, because people are just not really rotating a lot. People are just split pushing a lot. And to be a really good split pusher on Wukong, it's really not that hard, because all you need to do is hit towers, you spawn clones in, and those clones do damage, and you build attack speed. You can actually just apply so much split pushing pressure. You don't have to fight people, because people would say that Wukong is not like overpowered, he's just hard to kill, right? And that's the thing, is like the Wukong players are just split pushing and they're hard to kill, and so like maybe they're not contributing in terms of kills because they're not comfortable with his combos, but people that are playing on him on average are literally just split pushing so much. Like, I think Wukong is a big problem, right? Because he's good enough to where like bad players can get some good value out of him, and then in higher elo, this guy is so insane. He literally has the Wraith issue, with like Wraith is like a 42% win rate in gold, but then once you go against the Wraith player in Paragon, it shoots up to 68%, because good players can actually abuse the pick super well. And the same thing is happening with Wukong, because if you guys watch me play Wukong, it's literally that's what I do with him. I make I made Wukong look so easy to play, so oppressive. That's because I'm very good with the character, right? So I kind of like almost misled you guys a little bit. And I try my best in my videos to be like, hey, Wukong's really hard. Like, you guys may struggle with him, but people are still like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna break the game. I'm gonna leave this game, blah blah blah, right? And then now people play him and like, oh, he's actually balanced. Oh, he's kind of bad. No, he's really good. Just people are not good with him yet, right? So I'm expecting that after 2 more weeks, this win rate is just gonna go higher up, because all the people are bad with him or don't like playing him are gonna start playing him, and the people that are good with him are gonna keep getting better with him, and that's gonna increase that win rate so much more. Like, I actually think that Wukong is super insane. Like, there's a reason why he's getting like banned every game in rank. Not necessarily because people are afraid to play against him, it's just like people like don't want to run into the chance that like Wukong goes through and someone on the team knows how to play him well, and then he just runs over your game. Like, this guy is just so insane. It's unreal. So that's kind of my whole spiel on that. Wukong is D2 when I play him. Yeah, no, like that's what I mean. It's like, I think it's very volatile trying to place Wukong. Like, you can argue that he's A pick because most people probably just can't abuse him as much, but I still think my argument stands true to like just how insane his stats are right now. Given how hard he is, I think this guy's just gonna get more and more insane as time goes on. Like, people are gonna get good with him, and then his win rate is just gonna skyrocket. I think he's just really insane right here. So speaking of really hard characters, I'm also going to put down Wraith in A tier. I think last time I put him in B pick, but I think we're at the point right now where people that play Wraith, like, oh my, okay, so people are apparently still bad with Wraith, because collectively he has a 43% win rate. Like, Wraith still, so that's another thing, right? Like, Wukong is a harder character than Wraith, but he has a clear 5% more win rate and like a 60% more pick rate than Wraith, and he still has a 40% win rate. Like, I think bad players can play Wukong like decently well, but bad players on Wraith literally does nothing, because with Wraith, it's like if you can't land your combos, you just kind of get dumpstered. So I almost trying to convince myself to put on B pick. Like, I'm actually kind of curious, because I think like Wraith is literally the same issue, where it's like if I put this into rank, and then I put this in plat, because most people are in plat right now as people trying to climb out the Paragon. Wraith is at a, what is he at? 71% win rate. Because again, that's what I mean. It's like people that are very good at Wraith just abuse the pick so well. And even though he got nerfed, he's still very good. If I put this down to gold, which it still probably should be decent, because I think people, yeah, 42? It dropped so heavily, huh? You know what? I'm gonna put Wraith in B. I'm gonna put him B pick. I actually had him originally A pick, but the skill disparity is just so large that it's like you only play Wraith if you lose just a one trick. Right? Wukong don't have to be a one trick. You just need to know build attack speed, split push is all you really need to do on Wukong. Like that's the big difference between these two. Bad players can still play Wukong good. Bad players on Wraith are actually just actively like trolling the game on accident. They're not doing it on purpose. They're just bad with the hero. Another hero I also want to touch on is Grux, and I don't know because like the big thing with Grux is that they nerf his healing a lot. I would say like I can even pull up the patch notes just to show just by how much because it is a big deal. But I'm still gonna put him A pick because even though like I wouldn't play Grux personally because I think he's just kind of like in pick that if you know how to play against, it's really not that hard to pick. He's not as abusive in off lane. Like his healing is just not like super aggressive, I would say. But I think for like going against your average show, I think Grux is still like a decent pick. I mean like a 3% nerf and cooldown increase, like, and this is on top of the healing nerfs he already got from the hotfix kind of patch. So his healing is really not superly oppressive, I would say, but he's still a Grux. People still don't know how to play against Grux. And with like kind of like the 4 bans, going from 2 bans to 4 bans in rank right now, like I think Grux is just like unlikely a better pick because I don't think people are gonna bet. People are not really banning Grux, but when you have 4 bans in rank, you kind of are left with more limited options, and that's where Grux kind of shines a lot more. It's like because of the double ban on each side, like you can ban the Rover, ban the Countess, and then ban the Wukong, then ban Boas, and then like all those heroes are like Grux hates to play against, but like since they're all banned, like there's less pawns for Grux to worry about. He's actually a really solid offlane pick and even jungle pick. So I think it's like an A pick. I just think that he's not like a pick that you just pick every game, expect to just win lane for free. I think like he's more easy to countable. Like Kwang was already good into him, but now it's even better because Grux got nerfed. So I think there's a bit more wiggle room that I'm actually happy to see on Grux, but he's still Grux at the end of the day. So like your average show will still struggle with him, or vice versa, play very well on this hero. So next up, it's gonna be Countess. I think people are sleeping on this hero so hard. By the way, like it's actually kind of insane that people don't realize how overpowered this pick is. And I'm just gonna put an S. Like you can argue she's A pick because people are just not that good with her, but like she's literally just makes offlane easy mode because I think this is partly like Omena's fault because Omena's pretty bad when it comes to updating some stuff in game. So like for Callan's case, she's only recommended for mid and jungle, and honestly her best role, like the role that makes her S pick, is offlane. Like because what people don't realize on Countess is that if you max R on B, and all you have to do is just walk up to people on B, you just heal so much. And if you keep doing that on repeat, you are so hard to bully out of lane. And then as soon as someone takes a trade onto you, well, now it's easy to do your E, you park your passive, get the move speed, shoot damage, and then if you want to keep going, you use your Q to re-trigger your passive, and then by then your arm beats back up so you get a double Q and apply more damage and shoot damage like tech. Like she's actually so insane offlane. I can see how people would not like her as much in mids. Because the thing with like her combo system, like for her to be like really impressive, you either have to just mainly use your arm B and save your abilities for when you want to show poke down people or kill them, or you're like you just stick to just using your arm B in lane, because otherwise you just 1-3 mana really fast. And with Countess mid, you almost have to like heal in most of the time to actually get top of people, heal off your RB, and then walk away. Like that's hard to execute. Then offlane, where you just melee versus melee, and then you're always in melee range to RB heal. So it's a lot easier to conserve your mana. It's a lot easier to poke and sustain yourself in offlane. So I can see why people would say like, oh Joey, I think she's really not that good. I don't like her mids, right? But the thing is, like, I'm not evaluating her on mid necessarily. I think like she's giga busted offlane, and if you watch like other people like play her, like Lava or even Crazy Fool, or watch these tournaments, like she's either getting picked or banned every single time, and there's a reason. Like she's just so impressive offlane, and the fact that she didn't even got nerfed is so criminal. Like Grux got nerfed, and then Wraith got nerfed, and then all these heroes got nerfed, and then Countess just didn't got nerfed for like the last 2 patches. It's like actually insane, given just how strong she is. So she just wants like the offline meta even more, I would say. So like again, just think when I talk about Countess, I'm talking about her offline specifically because I think her mid is not as good. So it's probably like A or B, and the jungle is even worse, right? And does that, and I I look up what arms people are building on her mid, and it's like Waste Leggings first, and I'm just like, oh, that's why. If you don't know, you build Ability Haste, you build Tame Scepter, you build those arms on her, and she's super strong. You build something Waste Leggings on her, that's why she feels bad. It's because people are building bad arms, and the reason why people kind of have a warped perception on how strong Countess actually is. I think there's 2 more like highlights I want to do. Actually 3 more. So let's talk about Mourn. And I think Mourn is kind of like an S pick right now. I won't lie, because this is like going back to pre-release Mourn. Well, on the initial release, Mourn was so like overtuned in terms of stats that he can be played offlane very well as like support role. And then when you do play him support, he feels really hard to kill and he just does so much damage in healing. And so they nerfed that because that was just not fun to play against, and then he kind of fell down to like C pick. But then they decided they want to Giga buff him to back where he was before he got nerfed, and now he's just back to being just like an S pick because he's not just really strong in support now. Like he is like really strong off lane, and he's so strong that he can even play mid lane because I did him mid lane with really good success. Like he's actually like he's just dash check people really hard. And especially if you play in mids, his ganks are like so good because all you have to do is just wait for ult, go for sideline, press ultimate, they're blind, you have the movement speed, you just catch up people, you eat them, and then you can CC wombo combo the shame. So if you have like a Countess off lane and then like a Chimera jungle, like a more mid is actually a very good way to run out your team comp right there. It's just I think people have it caught on to like Mourn off lane and of course more support. Like I think he's getting pick or ban every single game so far from lane, but I think he's actually so good mid, and people I think have yet to realize that. And I think over time they might actually start flexing him mid because I guarantee you, in these like tournaments you can be seeing from like organizers, I think people might actually do more mid, like something like Pinsel will do, because Pinsel would like to do steal mid for a reason. So I think he would totally do like more mid as an example of a competitive player playing this pick mid a lot. So another pick I want to highlight is gonna be Greystone. I kind of have a bone to pick with the meta with Greystone because Greystone is a hero that was supposed to be way stronger on release on version 1.4, but they done Grux so hard. And what I mean by that is that Greystone was riddled with bugs, like a lot of bugs that actually actively impacted his performance. Because one thing, if it's like a rare bug that like it's kind of like it doesn't really impact your performance that much. It's a different thing where it's like these are bugs that are actively hurting his performance every single game he plays in. So he's actually performing worse than actually intended because they did a lazy job. They didn't sweep enough bugs on him, because like the 2 bugs that was really bad on him especially was when his ultimate didn't cleanse anti-heal as I said it would, and his ultimate didn't also heal when he's low HP, and I end up his ultimate just healing like nothing. So he just end up being like really easy to kill even if you get a good ult off. So those are 2 big things. Another thing is like they forgot to give him the movement speed buff. Why? Because like it loses like Greystone was left out with previous round movement speed increases. Like Greystone is a hero that literally like got cut by meta series because they couldn't QA him good enough. Right? It's actually kind of crazy that this hero was really bad because he had bugs that shouldn't be there in the first place. Well, they fixed all the bugs, the buff is damaged, and now he's actually feeling really strong. Like he's feeling like the S pick. Because I don't think there's like people that you'll ban necessarily, but I'm seeing people literally like pick him like almost every single game in Wayne. Like if I go again back to here, for example, like let me just show you like overall. Like Greystone is sitting at 55% win rate and just overall rank. That's actually an insane win rate right there for that kind of hero. I think it drops down in plats. Like let me see where he drops down. Even in plat, it's like a 52, 53-ish% win rate. Like this guy is like actually doing super well. Why? Because now he's actually performing as intended, and you got buffs along with that. So, and then other heroes got nerfs. So this Greystone pick is actually doing really good. And I think it's getting kind of slipped on a little bit because he's kind of like not like a flashy character. But now that his problems got fixed, he got buffs. He's feeling really good offlane, and it's also very good jungle flex as well. I'm trying to think, what's the one more pick I want to talk about? I think that was about it. If there's one that I highlight, I'll make mention of it. But now we can kind of go through the rest of the tier list right here. Oh, one more, Clutch. So I originally have Clutch as C pick right here, right? I originally have him C pick because all they buff with him is his dash, which is it's still a considerable buff, but I kind of feel like Crunch was one of those heroes like Tail that got left in the dust with all the version 1.4 rework, so he kind of like didn't get a whole lot of love. But I play a game with him, and I'm seeing a lot of people also play him in like rank 2. So like if I go back to like Platinum Crunch, it's at a 64% win rate, right? And then if I just go to hold on, if I just filter it by just rank and then just like overall rank, I think. Okay, so he drops down, right? So he's kind of like, so what that kind of is indicative of is that, like, for your average Joe, he's not like a really, like, oppressive pick. Like, I think an average Joe will probably perform easier, better on Grux than Crunch. But Crunch, in the hands of a really good player, is actually really strong. It's kind of like the Greystone, where you never ban the Crunch, but if you like the hero and play the hero a lot, like, you're actually eating good because now he feels a little bit playable offlane, but a lot of offlaners like Grux got nerfed, so like the gap between these two are not as large. I still think Grux counters the Crunch very well, but now I kind of feel like Crunch is at a point where he's a decent jungler that you can always pick up, and then with heroes like, especially with heroes like Boris nerf, and then like Grux nerf, right? And I think he's also good to Wukong, being able to chase him down because of Crunch's mobility. I think Crunch is in a great spot. I just don't think he's exactly A pick. I think it's still at least a B pick. It's definitely someone you don't want to sleep on, 100% in my opinion. But yeah, that's gonna be for the big highlights I want to mention. Now we can go through all the rest of the tier list. We're at 22 minutes. We're actually doing really good on time, so maybe we can make this a 35-minute video instead of an hour. Let's go. So Argus, let's kind of speed run this. Argus is a, I would say, average performance hero. Like, he is feeling like he's doing alright, I guess. It's just the meta right now. It's so like a lot of burst damage, and Argus doesn't really. He can have burst damage, but a lot of his damage comes from his RB. That's like a sustained high damage, not necessarily like a burst damage. So I do think Argus is a hero that doesn't fit as well into the meta at the moment compared to some of these other heroes. So he's just like a C pick in my opinion. Aurora is an A pick, as always. Like, she's just a hero that again hasn't really been nerfed or buffed, while other people also were getting nerfed around her. So she's still performing quite strongly. She's a great jungler, like very good counter. Like, let's say like the Wukong, especially the Boris jungle. Like, she's very good at the CC lockdown, very good team fighting, also very good in off lane. Like, just can't go wrong with her. Like, I think she's just a character that, as long as her best builds is literally just build full tank, and then she has so much CC to back that up, she is literally like really impressive in the hands of a good player, really good mobility. Just can never go wrong with this hero, honestly. Alright, so for Boris, he's another A pick. Like, you can maybe bump down the B. I think he's slightly overrated in my opinion. It's just like Boris is, like, you can't go wrong with Boris, but he's not like as impressive as initial release where he's just running down everyone in the competition. Like, I don't think his offense is nearly as good anymore, and his jungle is like, it's good, but I think it's just easier to counter because especially people just like to build Sky Split first on him, which like I just can never understand that. Well, I can understand why, because it makes his damage very good, but also makes him so easy to kill. Like, it's not even funny. Like, and then especially with this meta with like a Countess and then like a Greystone, you have a Mourn, you have a Robo, you have a Grux. You have so many people that either gonna CC you or keep you away, and if you're going to Sky Split first, you just die so fast, right? So I think Boris is honestly best built as more of a bruiser, so like kind of like an Overlord, kind of like a more bruisery, almost tank build, because like you get value the most when you're passive, just having that max passive attacking people, right? And if you want Sky Splitter, sure, it can maybe proc your passive faster, but it also makes you die faster. So are you really getting benefit from your passive on boards? I feel like, especially in jungle, you kind of have to build more tanky, or else just die way too easily, right? Because boards just kind of does best in 1v1, 1v2 scenarios, maybe, but like at the jungle, you don't really get to see that often. You kind of IV fighting a lot, and if you're trying to dive with bows, guys with Tame Blade plus your iron, yeah, you're just gonna die instantly. Well, you kind of have to rely on your team to tank for you, because otherwise you just don't get to play the game. Next up is Deca. Nothing really crazy changed with her. She's still a great pick. She's kind of like a good range stun support, good damage, but that's just it. Like the other supports like Mourn that can do some of the CC healing that Deca can do, but much more, right? So it's kind of like she's not bad. It's just other supports have more utility than her, and then they can execute that a little bit more reliably than Deca's kit that's all like a skill base. Like you don't have like a AoE around you. You have to aim your abilities, right? So it's kind of like you can't mess up on Deku. You miss your combo, then you're just useless, right? Drongo is still kind of struggling a bit. Like it's kind of I'm actually fine with this because Drongo's been like S tier for the longest time, and now finally he's actually just a meta ADC. I think that's good. Like I think it's good to kind of have ADC not being the same meta pick every single game, right? So I would say he just kind of meh, but his Q silence always gonna be good because of the silence, so you can never go wrong with that. Fame is another C pick. He is kind of like a one-trick pony at this point, in my opinion. Like you just kind of pick him if you're just one-tricking, you card carry your games, because if you're not getting other kills, then you're not gonna feel really good in this hero. Like this is a kill to either go 10-1 or 110. And it all relies on your other game, like snowball potential. So you either have to get other kills on jungle, or get other kills on offlane, rotate a lot, or you don't get kills and then you just fall off because you don't because then people get the items online, you get your items online, and you don't exactly just one-shot people right away on the show. Snowball like crazy, especially with his passive. So I think he's just a C pick. Gadget. I think she's actually a B pick. I'm probably maybe overweighting her just a tad bit, but especially with like the recent tournament I play in where like our mid laner was doing so good on Gadget, even though her herself is not the best player quote unquote in the tournament. Like I think Gadget is like a actually really good pick if you just play around whole anti dive comp. Like if you have like a Bolus for example that's diving you, or like a Wukong trying to dive your backline. If you have a team that's just trying to dive you a lot, Gadget's probably one of the best options against that besides maybe Iggy, because her whole kit is just like I just use all my abilities at my feet, and now they're taking a million damage in the CC, the wounded, all that good stuff, right? And so like as long as you have that mindset of Gadget, well, it's just like you playing to peel rather than trying to look for kills. I think she's actually really strong. It's just compared to a mid laner, she kind of lacks that guaranteed kill. She takes a long time to get online because of passive too. So I think she's like a pick you don't always want to pick. But if you see a combo with like a Boas and then Quan or Saris, like a very divey comp, I think Gadget's like a super OP pick against them. Gideon, SS pick. Like speaking of like heroes that like always like S tier, like I'm happy Strong was not S tier finally, but freaking Gideon's been S tier for God knows who long. Like I don't know. Like I was kind of hoping the rework to Gideon will finally like make him like a more balanced hero, like maybe like an A pick at best, B pick, but he's still an S pick after like a year or something crazy because he's just really hard to kill mid lane still because of his teleports that you can't follow now, which is really like stupid. His passive that roots, his ultimate is still very good for team fighting. Like Gideon is just a very good mid laner. You can never go wrong with, and I mean like his stats, right? It's like across all ranks like 50%, but I think in platinum it's like really high up right now. Where is he? Boy, wow. Okay, I might actually be wrong. What? Huh? I could have swore I saw Gideon that has a really high win rate. Like, is it actually outside rank? No, huh? I could be wrong right here. I kind of feel like Gideon is just really good, but okay. Well, like, I still think that Gideon is like really impressive, right? But I mean, the numbers don't lie, and I mean the numbers are not like the most reliable, right? But I mean, like Murloc is really strong, for example, and he's a hero I'm putting S pick in just a sec, right? But I'm actually surprised to see Game is not really doing as good. I wish I kind of look at this a little bit more because I could have swore Game was a lot higher like win rate, but I guess maybe I'm overrating Game too much because like his pick rate and rank for the most part, if I just pull this up. Sorry for like the little side tangent. I'm actually very curious on getting at the moment. Like his pick rate is good. I'm gonna still leave him with this pick. And the only reason for that is because like he's just a pick you can just never go wrong with. Like I'm trying to think like because in my head like who can beat Gideon, right? Who can be the other more viable pick? And maybe you can argue Belica, maybe you can argue Howitzer, but like you literally just never go wrong with Gideon. He's just very safe. So I'm still gonna stick to my guns and say he's S pick, even though the numbers are seems like a little bit skewed right now, right? So I'm just making the argument that I think he's S pick. Like numbers are not exactly reflective of that, just based on like the data we have right now. But I just see Gideon just getting banned or just pick every game. It's just like he's just getting picked like almost all the time. Maybe he's overrated, but everyone seems to love the Gideon pick, so I think he's just like a must pick up ban, honestly. So Grim, I think he's just a B pick. I think he's honestly like a bit underrated. Like I think he's actually really strong, but I think other ADCs are a bit more straightforward. They have a bit more that damage you kind of need in team fights. Like I think Grim can be good, really good in the hands of someone that wants the spell shield, but I think compared to some of the other like A and S picks especially, I think Grim just kind of falters a bit. How is the I kind of had him on where did I have him? I think you can argue either for S or B, honestly. And I actually didn't look at Hauser too much. I'm actually curious where he's sitting stats wise. Because, I mean, stats wise, he's sitting on a little bit better, like, win weights, right? And then if we bump that up, yeah, it's like, Hauser's. So, like, that's the difference between him and Gideon. Like, Gideon is, like, even in, like, the higher elos. Oh, wait. Am I tripping? Hold on. What is Gideon at? I totally lost him. Like, I guess I mean Gain's not doing that good either, but like I think in terms of consistency, I think Gain has that a bit better than Howitzer. Plus Howitzer not always he's never been known for a team fighter, and right now I think the meta is very like team fighting, fight one objectives because if you win objectives, you win the game a lot easier. So I just think Howitzer is just like have a B pick, but if you're very good with him, you can snowball steamroll people, win the 1v1s, no, and then go from there. I think he's doing very good. Um, Iggy, I do think Iggy is also sort of like a B pick. Like, so I think he's sort of like the same bar as Gadget, where it's kind of like he's good for the most part, but if you're playing against a certain team comp and there's other mid lanes open, you probably pick them over him. You mainly pick him if you want to cheat objectives, take objectives early, or you're playing against like a Stairway, Squam, Boas, kind of like a dive comp, and Iggy's very good into that. But trying to like execute get aggressive with your plays, it's just not possible on Iggy. Clyde, I'm gonna put in D. She's still sort of like a one-trick pony character, except she's harder, more clunky to pull off than Fame Mao. So the weird thing about Clyde is that like she's actually pretty dang good, but only for like really hard one-trick characters. Because when I'm watching like people playing rank, like the highest elo right now, people will ban Clyde because there are Clyde one-tricks that can play a really good jungle, and I can see that. But I think that like outside that 1%, Clyde most of the time just gets steamrolled, right? It's just easy, it's just easy to punish for the most part, and it's just I kind of feel like if you want to play a more generalistic assassin, you play Countess or Fame Mao. Like I just don't see the value in Clyde. She's too much of a one-trick pony for my liking, and I agree when people say just don't like her. I think she's clunky to use also, so I think she's just a D pick right there. So for Chimera, he's actually doing very good. Um, he kind of got changed a little bit in the patch, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Like they technically buff his RB when his maxed out, and I guess they increased the cooldown on his ultimate, but that only impacts the early lows. Like max level is about the same. So I would say overall sort of about the same. It's just that a lot of heroes got nerfed. It's a thing, and the common thing really got touched besides those points. So I think he's actually like doing really good Like his stats are like really good right now. Like again, if I just show this, like if I show Plat, Chimera, like 54% win rate, that's actually pretty insane for like the higher elos, and then bring to gold, or just show the whole rank in general, like 53% win rate. Like Chimera's doing really good. It's really easy to kill to. Never can go wrong with, so I think it's actually just a solid pick right there. Kira is also a really solid pick. I think she offers a bit more than Grim because of her more like single target damage, objective damage, a bit more reliable mobility and snowball potential with the E like resetting, right? So I think she's very good. Just a way click can kind of be bad, but besides that, she's actually really solid and she's pick a lot from what I can tell. One, I really want to put him as pick because I think he's actually pretty insane. Like a lot of people are playing him, but he's also kind of like that hero that's not as straightforward to play like Grux, right? So although like I really like Quan, especially for kind of like Wukong, a lot of these other heroes, I think he's just a pick. He's really good jungler, but I think jungle is hard to execute because these other heroes and offlane. You kind of have to know your match as well to take full advantage. But he's like doing really good. Just definitely don't sleep on him when you go against bar players in offlane especially. Relica, still an 8 pick. It's kind of funny. I think her best build right now is still attack speed on hit, and they try to go for a mage build. It feels kind of underwhelming, but just like I kind of want to almost pick her in B pick, but I think she's just so in that realm where you can never go wrong with Belica because of his CC knockup. She kind of fits into these team comps very well at the moment. She just kind of lacks that big AoE damage kind of like thing you need in the mage in team fights, but then her on-hit build is like really high, so she's a mage that has some of the highest sustained damage with some burst damage. Like I think she's really good right now, and definitely just don't sleep on the other worlds like support or ADC. Like it's not nearly as good, but it's definitely still playable. Morgus is the B pick. Like she's actually like again like she sort of got a little bit buff I think from the patch. Like yeah, mainly for she actually got nerf. I take that back. But her healing feels really good right now. Like play against Morgus and her healing is very good. And not only that, it's like her damage early game is actually deceptively good. So I'm not sure exactly what changed, but like she's feeling pretty impressive to play against the mid lane, and she's a very easy character to play. Like I don't think she's a C pick. I think she does better than like the August mid and these other picks. I just think she can't go higher than B, just because she's very just like a harder to kill mage. Doesn't really have as much utility or AoE damage to back that up. More like S pick. Like they keep nerfing him, but he's still like some of the best ADCs. Just the hardest hitting ADC. A lot of self peel, a lot of movement speed, global snipe. It's just you can't go wrong with him. Mio, very good. Her shield speed really good. Her ultimate is very annoying to deal with, especially like in this meta where we can still have a lot of healing going on. If you have all this healing like Countess and Bolus and Chimera and they get shielded, they kind of feel really hard to kill. Almost impossible with the amount of healing they're doing and the amount of shielding Mary can do. Like she's very like a highly contested pick and Wink especially, so definitely don't sleep on her. Nobash, he's kind of like sitting between B and C. I'm gonna put him B because I put him B. You can maybe argue C pick, right? But I think he's just his healing is pretty dang good. His AoE movement speed is also very good. It's mainly just ultimate doesn't feel as impactful compared to some of the other supports, but like easy to play. He's very like this whole meta is very TDM death bally, and Nobash is some of the best supports at enabling that too. So I think he's just a great pick. You can maybe argue C pick, but I think this Nobash is still pretty dang good right now. Phase the C pick. She was very annoying on initial release, but now she's just not as annoying where people just stop playing her. She just kind of does one thing and one thing very good, and that is pulling ADCs away and then having the mobility with the resetting blink. But that's about it. Like healing is fine, her ultimate is fine, but like she doesn't feel like she has much utility compared to like these other supports, and you're very reliant on your teammate to do good. So it's kind of like if you want to carry from support, you want to play other heroes like over phase. Putting Mortgage higher than Arcus feels wrong. Well, like yeah, you can make that like you can make the argument that like maybe both Morgus and Argus the same tier. I'm just kind of go. This is just my opinion, of course. At the end of the day, it's just I feel like for most players, they're gonna do better with the Mortgage than the Argus. Just fair because Mortgage is literally just lock on abilities, and she has a lot of healing, and she has movement speed. Argus doesn't really have that. Like Argus, in comparison to Mortgage, feels clunky. It's the best way to put it. Like he kind of has to aim all his abilities. He gotta snipe people, and he had to hold down right click and use slow while doing this. Like I think August, in comparison to Mortgage, it's just clunky and doesn't fit in this whole burst meta nearly as much. That's why I put Mortgage over on Mortgage because Mortgage does have that burst damage that's very reliable. She has that healing to go with that healing meta. Like I think people just overall will kind of gravitate towards Mortgage over August. That's just my opinion, but. Like August, like all these heroes honestly could be high on the list if you're really good with the hero, but I'm talking about just overall, and I think overall people are just doing better with Mortgage and Bio, like the most pick over August mainly. Like I don't care how many times Pinso like blazes August, he's literally just the August main, or rather like he's more like a Belica Blazer now, so it's kind of like I know where that perception comes from a little bit. I just think if you're really good with August like Pinzo, then yeah, he's a great pick. But I think most people just don't like playing him as much. Like he's just not as good to play in my opinion. So Rampage, he's kind of like in the middle pack B. Like I haven't seen any crazy Rampage. I don't think Rampage is being like picked too much, even at the moment. So like if I try to find him right here, I think it's towards the bottom ish. Let's see what yeah, he's right here. So like his win rate is decent, but his pick rate is very low. Like he's like bottom like he's very down low right there. Like if we bring him to Plat, then Rampage. Yeah, that's actually really sad. That in like the highest elos, like Rampage is actually just doing so bad. That's actually crazy. Cause I mean, I guess if you filtered by jungle, right? Kind of like the best like jungles, like oh my god, Greystone jungle is actually popping up really hard. That's crazy. You have Greystone, you have Grux, you see like all these heroes like that are doing really good, and like Rampage is sitting down here like he's like in jungle main, and then he's getting beat by offlaners like Saris and Quan. That's actually kind of crazy. I just think Rampage needs a little bit more love because obviously it looks like in highly competitive play he's not doing as good. But in general play, he seems like he's doing fine. It's just if you want to play tank, you go Greystone. Because you play tank, Greystone do more damage and you're hard to kill because you have to damage the immunity and all of it. It's just I think Greystone just outshines the Rampage way too much, so I might honestly drop him down to C. Like I think he's just getting outshined a lot by other junglers at the moment. Like I just don't think there's a good way to play Rampage when he's just outclassed by Greystone in every aspect, and then a lot of the other aspects is also outclassed by other heroes. Remnant Apex is actually doing really good right now. Like I think he's his burst damage, the whole like old Revenant that just one-shot people is kind of finally back, I would say. So he's definitely an A pick. I don't think he's an S pick necessarily because you don't always want to play Revenant into tanking team comps. You want to play Murdoch or Q instead. But against the more like Saris jungle and then like Terror offlane, like I think Revenant can do really good into those kind of team comps. But soon as like a Steve and then there's like a like Chimeras, it's like those are the heroes that just sits on you. They soak up damage pretty easily. You just can't bust it down fast enough. Whereas like other ADCs like the Murdoch and Kira can be better in those scenarios. Victor, he's gonna be it's just a C pick. I think Victor has really fallen from grace compared to pre-version 1.4. He's just really easy to bully out and support role, and then his offlane got really nerfed hard as a result as well. And then jungle, it's kind of like why would you play Victor jungle when you can play other heroes that offers the same amount of CC and more damage and more survivability? Like I just think Victor is just in a really rough spot. Like definitely like you only play him if you're a one trick, but even if you're a one trick with him, other picks can just be better and just gravitate towards them instead. Sarah's B pick. She's I see a lot of people would say that she's feeling really strong, but at the same time, I feel like she's kind of like a pump stomper in a sense. Well, like if you know the Saris, yeah, she just kills your entire team. But all it takes is just one feel to look at Saris like I just did earlier in the stream. Like just one like this is like just an example. This Saris like 4-0 in my game when playing Siege support, and as soon as I just focus her every team fight, she just dies every team fight. So she ended up going from like 4-0 to 8-9. Like it's so easy to shut down the Saris compared to other heroes. Like trying to shut down like a Greystone or Wukong for example, it's really hard because of how elusive or how much stability they have. But for Saris, it's like as soon as she E's kills your team, you just easy her and she's just dead. There's literally nothing she can do right there. So I just think that Saris right is just really easy to counter if you just look at her, right? If you use the CC, you bait her out. Like I think people kind of overrate this pick a bit, especially in the offlane. I think offlane Saris is really not that good. I think there's other better picks offlane. So I think she's exclusively like more jungle, but in that role, I think she's easily counted compared to like the Chimera Bowlers, Grux. Sedwar, I am just putting him in D pick again. Like I just think this hero is like he doesn't fit the meta, or rather he doesn't fit the direction this game is going right now. And what I mean by that, this game's direction is going towards a more TDM, more faster pace, more fight kind of thing. And Sedwar, it's the complete opposite of that, where he kind of wants to farm. But like the game rewards you for not farming as much if you means you can rotate and get kills because the passive gold drip is higher. Like I think at this point, if administrators want to keep going this direction of just like TDM brawls rotate a lot, then they either need to like make his stacking requirement like way easier so he can farm less and still get to his max stacks, or they just rework Sedwar's kit clearly. Like I think Sedwar's kit just doesn't reflect doesn't fit at all with the kind of genre, the kind of the game direction that Mr. is taking with Predecessor. So I just think that like maybe rest in peace, but a Sedwar that does get max stats can be a really impressive tank, but like at the same time it's like you play any other tank and they can literally do what he does more consistently. Like, I just don't see why we play Sedwar unless you're a hard one trick. Shinbi, it's kind of tricky. Like she's either S or A because she's actually doing really good in off lane, like very good split pusher and all that good jazz. Let's actually, I want to take a quick look because maybe this would determine like if I filter by off lane and then just do off lane. Okay, so Shinbi is actually doing very good with 52% win rate. If I bring this up to plat, 42% win rate. That's interesting. If I bring this up to just normal game modes, offlane, 51% win rate. If I just do by roll, then Shinbi is like 47. Alright. Yeah, I think she's the A pick. Like, I know a lot of people will complain that she's really annoying to deal with off lane, but that's mainly for the fact that she just spams range abilities a lot, and people hate playing against range characters like JoeYoursTruly, of course. But I think she's a bit overrated. Like, I don't think she's as annoying to deal with compared to some of the other heroes. Like, I mean, she does one thing really good, and that's just split pushing, and there's of course other heroes like Wukong that can do that and better, while also offering more utility for other stuff. So I think she's really good. I think it's just I don't think she's necessarily the S pick because she's just kind of more limited in the strength she has as a character, and there's other heroes that can just perform more consistently in the same stuff she does, I would say. Skylar, I think she's just she's either B or A. I think I'm just put her in. I'm gonna put her in B. You can argue A pick, but I kind of feel like in comparison to the Rev keyword, I think she falters just a little bit. Like her mobility is insane, don't get me wrong, but that's kind of like the best thing she does, I would say, compared to the other ECs, and that's it. Like even compared to Modog is hard to catch in the Scalar, if I'm being honest. Because of like all the pushback, the movement speed, the traps, all of that. So it's kind of like the thing that Scout is supposed to be the best at. She gets outshadowed by like Murdoch and maybe one or two other like ADCs. So like okay, she has the high sustain damage, but also the Kiwa has high sustain, Murdoch has a high sustain. And the fact that it's the beam, like you can, it's sometimes easier just to do one shot at a time rather than the full straight on beam. Because if you're doing full straight on beam, it's easier for you to get caught out or get collapsed on. Whereas like these ADCs can do 1-2 shots back away, 1-2 shots back away, right? So I kind of feel like she's good, but I kind of feel like these other ADCs can be almost safer to play, more consistent play than Scout at the moment. I don't think I need to explain why Spell's a D pick. I think she's like her ultimate is just did her so dirty. Well, it turned from like a attack stereotype to like just a projectile bombing like Twin Blast. Like I really don't like her ultimate. A lot of people don't like her ultimate change from what I can tell. I just think that she's suffered from the same. So like Omega Series did this whole rework on all these heroes to fix issues, and Spirit's main issue was like she has no mobility, and they didn't fix that, and then they make her hyper carry potential even worse. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, man, serious. What are you gonna do with? What are you trying to do with Spirit? Like she's either a sitting duck but hyper carry, or she has more mobility at the ADC, but she's less of a hyper carry. But now they let's make her less of a hyper carry, and the mobility is still piss poor as usual. Like, why we play Spell? Why we play Spell when these other ADCs are this better comparison? Spell is trash and Spell is main. Yeah, no. Honestly, Messi did you guys so dirty. Like, I have no idea what they're thinking when they make the Spell changes like that. I just think that they like they have to do another like same thing with Sewa. I think they have to do another rework because they're just the design philosophy, the direction the game is going, it just doesn't make sense for these two heroes, honestly. So I think they need to get more love. Like I think buffing them is not the right way to go because then they're just dash checking people and that's just not healthy either. Steve, he's an A pick. Can never go wrong with him. He's very good support actually too, like very good support, utility tank, all that really good stuff. His E is super impressive too, by the way, being able to block projectiles. So ADCs I think play the game when they had to fight around a steel E. Very good off lane. Like he's very solid right now. Taylor is D pick. Like she really needs some love. Like she really needs some love because she is just like the most unpopular healer at the moment. Like she has like 6% pick rates across all game modes, and then if you bring this to like okay, Wayne, she's still like down here. Like but like her win rate is okay. It's decent in rank, but like. But that's only in plats. Like plat terrors are different. If you just bring the overall rank, right, then terror goes back to 45%. I think yeah, I think terror is just like you only play terror for the CT immunity and that's it. Like if terror never had a CT immunity, she would just be rest in peace. Also, like she's only dodgeable because of her CT immunity, which can be good against her team cards, but outside of that, she's just garbage in my opinion. Faye, she's very good A pick. Like she just does so much damage, and the whole ultimate is also very good. Very good in the locking down like the most big characters like the Countess, Wukong especially. Like she's very good. She's very scary. If she walks up to AC, all of them and just die instantly. TB, he's kind of B pick. Like can't go on TB, but in terms of mobility or damage, he can't get outclassed by other ADCs at the moment. Yin is actually doing so bad right now. She's in the rest in peace category. Like I say Taylor is bad, but Yin is literally like some of the worst heroes right now to play. Like straight up, like she's like one of the worst heroes in rank. And then if we bring it to just normal game mode, like she's still doing really poorly with 44% win rate. It just she just got nerfed too much, and then other heroes got buffed, and then she just kind of left the walk in the dust. Like I think Yin is just a hero that you play Yin to stat check people and block projectiles, but then she doesn't stat check people anymore, and then her projectile like with the ultimate it's kind of like niche. And when the meta was all burst damage, a lot of burst healing, and Yin is all sustained damage, so it's like Yin doesn't fit in this meta at all. Like she kind of needs a lot of love in her numbers, like for damage especially, because otherwise she's just useless. Just don't pick Yin. Serious, he's the A pick in my opinion. I think Serious is like doing very good. I think the data will say that like the data right is he's not like as like a high win rate character like by trying to find Serious right now. He's kind of like saying 47% win rates. If I bring this to rank, I don't think it's that much better. I think what's yeah. Like 50% win rate, is coin flip, but he's a very popular pick hero, I would say, like being like the 5th most picked hero. right? Am I saying that right? Yeah, I'm saying that right. So like, I think he's a little bit overrated, but he's very good at the jungler being able to lock down people. It's just like that's all he does good well. It's his ultimate cage, but he does it so good that like he's still popular, very good to play anyways in this kind of meta. So I think he's the A pick. Maybe overrating him a little bit, but I think he's a solid A pick. Last pick is gonna be Sync, just an average B pick. Like, she's a good healer. She has a good stun. She has a good revive, but I kind of feel like she gets outshined a little bit by like the Mourn, especially, which is how overstat tuned he is, right? And then I think Mario as a more pure keeping your team alive is way better because Sync only does one ally. Mario can do all 5 people, right? I think um because of that, I think Sync is sort of like suffers some same issues with base where you have to hyper enable someone, but if you don't have a hyper carry on your team, then it's just better to play a more generic AoE support like a Narbash Mario. And that's going to be the end of my tier list. And I think that's I did say that my goal is to make this 30 minutes. I even said that, oh, we're doing so good on time. We can probably make this a 35-minute video. Nope. I went 20 minutes over my estimation, so I guess I'm like to ramble too much, unfortunately, for my liking. But what you guys? So for my live viewers right now, what you guys think of this tier list? Because in a minute or two, I'm about to close out, and then that's gonna be the video for the YouTuber for tomorrow. I'm actually pretty happy with this, right? You can argue some of the stuff can change, but this is just my opinion at the end of the day. I try to be as unbiased as I can, but there's only so much I can do, right? But I think there's a pretty solid tier list for kind of like where the meta's at the moment. Just kind of like making good highlights on some of these particular heroes, I would say. And like I said, definitely keep an eye on Wukong, especially because right now maybe it doesn't seem like that insane of a character. I guess depending on who you're asking, right? But I do think and like over time, bad people are gonna play him less. Good people are gonna get better with him. I won't be surprised if this overall 40% win rate becomes like a 51, 52% win rate. I think Wukong is just way overtuned. But it's gonna be tricky to balance, kind of like with the Wraith. Well, if you nerf him, then he's just dead for like bad players. But if you like leave him about the same, then good players like me just abuse his character like way too much, right? So I do think that Wukong is just a hero that's gonna be really interesting to see how he's gonna develop and grow over time. But yeah, that's gonna be enough rambling from me. Hope you guys enjoyed today's tier list video. Let me know down in the comments what your opinions, what picks you would change, or other stuff I missed in my tier list ratings. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day here. Peace.